tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hello, Woody. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm Esteban from Spain, and well, I have been lucky and been able to travel to many places in the world. Well, it is a mix between being lucky and being persistent and following your dreams.
Right.
So that is the main advice I want to give to people. To dream awake first. That is the very first step. To know what you want in life. For example, in my case, it was to explore the world, to live, different places, live, know cultures. So I want to do that. And once you have that, you think about how to do it. So in my case, I was a computer engineer, but I studied more to be able to work by myself. In this case, as a developing websites, and so I was able to be a digital nomad. So I could travel all around the world. So, and then I had other dreams, and then in the UK, well, so every stage in your life, you say, what I want to do in the next 5 years, 10 years, and then you work on that. The bad news is that you have to work hard sometimes, but the more ambitious is your goal, the harder you have to work. But it's possible. I mean, if you just put the goal there and you work on that persistently, you will arrive there. So that is the main advice I would like to give to the people.
How many countries do you have in travels there?
Around 30 plus.
Wow, 30 countries.
A little more, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in different continents: Latin America, Asia, Europe, Africa. Yeah.
One of the best things you have learned while traveling? Tell me a few things that you have learned while traveling the world.
Well, one thing is to be open and to be humble, because maybe from your culture you learn some things and you believe always has to be like this. Right. But then you travel to other country and you realize, no, people are acting in a different way and it's fine. So it's just, be open and being humble to learn from other people. And another advice is that you can learn from any person, even the poorest guy you find in the street.
Right.
Probably he has some stories to tell you that you learn from. So you can learn from anywhere. So that is also about, again, being humble and being open to learn. And by learning, we never stop learning in life. So the day you say, I know everything, that day you start dying. So, just keep this spirit of a child, that wants to explore, wants to learn more.
Right. Okay. So tell me some of the, how does the difficulties you have been faced to while traveling? I just want to know, like, do you have any barriers, languages, stuff?
Well, always you go to a new place at the beginning, it's not easy. You have to learn the new culture, to adapt, to know where the things are, how to make the things, the bureaucracy, etc., etc. So every time I have moved to a new place, at the beginning, there is a period that you need to adapt and to learn. And for example, the language, my native language is Spanish. So I learned English in the school, in a private academy, but after, it is not until I went to live abroad that I really become fluent.
Okay.
So, and at the beginning I was a bit difficult because of that. I was not very fluent and I struggled a little bit. Right. So the beginnings are usually challenging, but if you persist again, there is a time that you become comfortable in the new place, and it's like a new home for you.
Yeah. How many languages you can speak now?
Spanish, English, and now I'm learning Arabic because I'm living in Saudi Arabia now.
Right.
But still I know little, but I plan to learn more.
Okay, so how many languages you can speak? Spanish, English,
and English, mainly both, these two.
Yeah.
And I am now with my third language, that is Arabic, but still my level is quite basic.
Okay, but now you can speak. Can you communicate with people in Albion?
Here, just in a basic conversation. So maybe you ask me in a few months or even years, and I can speak very well, but at the moment, just very basic.
Okay, very nice. So tell me, I shouldn't ask, but I just want to ask you, what is the best country you have been to while traveling?
This is a very difficult question because every place has some special things.
Okay.
So it's difficult to answer. For example, when I was living in the Southeast Asia, when I was working as a freelancer developing websites, okay. I was in Vietnam, in Thailand, the Philippines, Nepal, Indonesia. So, for example, in these countries, I learned the culture, like, for example, the Buddhism, the more spiritual philosophy that they have in these countries. In the Western world, in Europe, United States, it's different. But you feel and you can, once you live there, you get that feeling from the people, and you become also more like spiritual, more calm, not so like egocentric.
Yeah.
So that is one very good thing I learned from that part of the world.
Did you visit some monasteries there while living?
Well, I visited, but not like living there.
Okay.
I didn't do that.
Okay.
But yeah, I visited many places around the temples, etc., and met some people, even monks that I learned from.
Okay, so you say you've been in Nepal. What did you find most interesting there in Nepal? I'm from Nepal.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was in Kathmandu and Pokhara.
Okay.
So, well, Kathmandu is nice too, of course, it's a must to see. But also Pokhara is so beautiful, so I loved Pokhara.
Okay. And
well, the people, yes, it's a different style. For example, I was hosted by a person, a guy, a person who knew me before just online on Facebook, because I had I still have a Facebook page that I created a long time ago, that it is called I Also Want to Change the World, but I don't know how. So for some reason, I got many people from Nepal, fans, liking this page. And then when I went to Nepal, one of these, he told me, you can stay with my family. And it was by the time it was the earthquake. Right. So I flight when the big first earthquake was already happened. But then anyway, I went there. And then the second one, I was there. So it was,
wow.
Very. And then we were sleeping in a market, like all the neighbor were sleeping there. So it was an interesting experience.
Okay.
So yeah, even people are maybe don't have a lot of material things, but still, they are very welcoming and they want to help. So.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So and recently I was checking your Instagram and Facebook page. You do a lot of teaching. What do you teach mostly in England?
Yeah. In my stage in the UK, instead of IT, that is my profession, I changed and I was had a company about teaching, first about languages, because I was open like a kind of a branch of my sister's company in Spain that I was about teaching English. So it was about teaching languages, but also I created another brand that is called Quantum Life University Project. The idea that one day to remove the project, this university, Quantum Life University, but at the moment it's just a project.
Right.
So, and this is about teaching personal and professional development, like emotional intelligence, effective communication, time management. Like also I created a course about chakras called Chakras Applied to Life. So it was following each of the chakras and related to each chakra, what are the things that you could learn and develop from that. So it was like personal and professional, mostly personal development. Also spiritual also. So
a little bit spiritual. So do you also teach like a meditation stuff or not?
Well, I don't teach meditation. There are people who do yoga. Personally, I don't do a lot of yoga, for example. I'm not very orthodox in meditation. I don't sit every day doing the same thing like meditation every day, but I have my own way, you know, like just living life, you know, like with the mindfulness.
Okay.
But yeah, I love to learn about all these kind of things. So for example, online in my YouTube channel, I have some videos about the law of attraction, quantum physics. So
yeah.
I have one video that is the law of attraction explained by the quantum physics. So, I mean, there is always like a gap between this physical reality and the most, you know, like quantum reality. But you can get some things from, you know, related, and you can understand better the life, how the universe works. So I have always been passionate about all these kind of things, learning also about psychology, all these kind of things. So yeah, I created some videos on my YouTube channel that I tell about all these topics.
Topics, right? Okay. And I want you to speak a little bit about the chakra you said. Chakra sounds like a Buddhism or a little bit Hinduism. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I come from the Hindu religion.
Okay.
So yeah, it's well, there are some like, well, 7, but there are supposed to be many more, but this is the main one, the 7th one. And it's like the energy goes from, you know, the bottom of our body to the top, and the other way around.
Yeah.
And the chakras are, you know, like for example, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, the 6th chakra, the crown chakra, etc. So, for example, if you have some grief in your life, or you have had a relationship that was hurting, and then you kind of feel constrained about loving another person, then you can have like a block of the energy of the heart chakra. So, and you know, like the energy, when it is blocked, it can, in middle long term, can bring some illnesses also. So it's good, you know, the more fluent is the energy in your body, the better, no, for your health, or for your mind, everything related, body, mind, spirit. So you can, in the course, we go chakra by chakra, and depending, for example, this is quite obvious about love, this is about communication,
right.
This is about understanding, and also creating, because with our consciousness, we also are creating. So it's not only observing. So then we did different exercises apart from some kind of theory. We did some, you know, like role playing, and like even drawing, mind maps, many things. All that, so people can realize where are the weak points they have in their lives at that moment, and then try to improve those specific weak points. That is what is blocking the energy in their lives, in their body, and in, as you say, it's all connected. So also in a spiritual way. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
very interesting.
You know, the whole course, it was 7 weeks. It was one day per chakra. Okay. So I cannot tell all the course here, but this is just a kind of
basically
an idea.
Yeah. Very interesting. Because I saw lots of pictures on your Instagram, and I was, wow, you look so creative in doing courses. do you have some specific technique to teach or make people listen to you? Why people listen?
Well, it is good to mix, not only explaining theory, but also do, like as you say, role playing, for example. So people get engaged, and they learn by doing.
Role playing, is it like a speaking, or just they have to be friends stuff, or how?
Role playing is, for example, you separate the people in small groups, like 2, 3 people, 4 people, depending. And then they say, okay, you are going to now play the role of an angry person. Right. And then the other person will play the role of, you know, like a balanced person. And then, you know, it's a game, but when you're playing with this, you realize the person who is playing the angry person realize, oh, you know, like sometimes in real life I am like this. So, and then you learn how to change, you know. Yeah. And so it's just playing the role of a character, and then through that you can learn. And then after, you can comment between all the people, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
And also, for example, with mind maps, I use, because many people are like visual, like me. I learn more visually. So it's good to use mind maps. You know, like mind maps is like you put the main ideas in a graphic, and then you connect the main ideas. So, you know, conceptually you can learn better.
Yeah.
So I teach with this, but also at the end of each lesson of this chakra, I ask them to draw their own mind map. So also in that way, they you know, they can review what they have learned, and they put the ideas together, and they gets better in their mind. If you just speak, they are not going to learn too much. People learn more by doing, by practicing what they are learning.
Yeah. Wow, very interesting. Very interesting. Where do you get the idea to be very creative in like all the posts and pictures that you do in the classroom? Or you just imagine? How do you do that?
Yeah, well, I have studied different like courses, certifications to teach. And also I studied like coaching. I'm a certified master coach. So I learn from the person I learned in Liverpool, John Haynes. Rest in peace now. He did this technique. He had all the mind maps, and he used to use the mind maps to teach all the lessons. Also for the teacher is useful, because you look at the mind map and you say, oh, you know, remember the main idea you want to speak about. So you don't need to remember everything. You just look at the mind map and get the main idea. You can. It's better also for the teacher.
Yeah. Wow. Very interesting. Okay. And I will ask you the different questions. Do you love reading books a lot?
Yeah.
What kind of books? What kind of books do you read?
Yeah, especially as I said, like philosophy, psychology, personal development, quantum physics, everything that makes you understand better, you know, the people, the life, how everything works, you know, in this reality, let's say.
Quantum physics is, I'm so bad at quantum physics because I'm so bad at actually science. I didn't understand really.
Well, I am, you know, like, I cannot say I'm a super expert in quantum physics, but I have learned some books and I can tell things about it. So, well, quantum physics, you know, you go deep, we are made of molecules and then atoms and then, you know, electrons, all this. So the quantum physics is the physics that study these subatomic particles.
Yeah.
Okay, the electrons, all these kind of things. So the laws that govern the classic physics, let's say, and the laws that govern the quantum physics are different.
Yeah.
You know, in quantum physics, crazy things can happen that you could never imagine in this material life.
Okay.
Like, for example, a particle can be one moment here, disappear, and appear here, you know?
Okay.
Out of a sudden. I mean, this is actually the normal thing that happens in quantum physics.
Quantum physics,
and also it's very interesting, for example, the duality wave particle. So there is an experiment that, you know, an electron, it is a particle, right? It is one part of the atom. So if they make an experiment to prove that this like a matter particle, they prove it. Yeah. But also if they make a different experiment to prove that is a wave, is energy, it's not the matter, it's just energy.
Energy.
Also, they can prove it.
Yes.
So that is why it is called duality wave and particle.
Right.
Okay, so the reality, I mean, again, it is extrapolate from the quantum physics and use the